so much, really. Thanks so much. So, I would like to start with a really serious question. What are you watching right now? And it doesn't have to be on Netflix. So, Tini, if you want to start.
Okay. I have to say that I just finished the third series of Lupin. I've been watching it as a real fan. Then I like to see different things at the same time. So I'm watching, and it's again, I'm sorry, it's Netflix, the short stories of Wes Anderson based on the Roald Dahl short tales. And talking about competition, okay, I admit I'm a very huge fan of The Bear, series 2 now on Disney+.
Great contribution, great contribution. Jenny, what about you?
So I'm eagerly awaiting every new episode of the morning show on Apple TV. I've been watching that for the 2 previous seasons and now the new one. But I'm also always, as a Nordic woman, looking out for what's the next good crime story, of course. And our German team has done a wonderful series called Liebeskind, or Dear Child, and I'm enjoying that at the moment.
Really good choice. What about you, Diego?
So I have a 1-year-old, doesn't give me a lot of time to watch, but on the time I do have, I just finished this weekend Beckham, and I thought that was incredible, both from a sports perspective, life perspective, Victoria family. I thought it was really well done. And then off Netflix, obsessed with Poker Face. I'm a huge Natasha Lyonne fan, and I think the dark comedy and the work she does there is just really outstanding. So really enjoying the dark crime comedy that she provides.
Really good choice, and I agree with you, Beckham is always a good choice in every field. So, can you give me a brief history about where have you been and where are you going in Italy, Spain and in the Nordics? Tini, if you want to start.
Yeah, I would like to start saying that I feel Mia is my home. I see it from the very first year, developing and becoming more and more important thanks to Gaia Tridente and her fantastic team. I want really to thank them for what they are doing. Then almost everyone from Italy knows that I've been a couple of decades in RAI and 8 years as head of drama. Then I moved in the pandemic during 2020 to Netflix. And I did it because I really wanted to contribute to give quality, extra quality and extra possibility to the Italian production to entertain our members, to give more content to the Italian audience and to bring it to the rest of the world. The story of Netflix started here in 2017 with Suburra, and I'm super happy that on November 14th, we launch the spin-off of Suburra, that is Suburra Eterna, and I like how it enlarged the world that Suburra has so much established with the previous 3 series. And we opened the office here in Rome 1.5 years ago, and for me it's really extraordinary how we manage with my colleagues to develop a huge slate of film series, documentaries and non-scripted.
Cool. Diego, what about you?
So looking back, it's been almost 10 years that I've been at Netflix, and when we started, we were really focused on we weren't global yet, and we were really focused on bringing Hollywood, distributing Hollywood content, but also local content for the regions we were in. And then saw this opportunity for thinking broader and started licensing Spanish content to Latin America, and saw that people loved it. Also in the US, Gran Hotel, Velvet, shows that really people connected with. And that really opened my eyes to think about there's over 600 million people that speak Spanish. And we could start thinking about programming for an audience that is beyond just a country, and really think about culture, language, and even people that can discover culture even if they don't know the language. And then in 2015, when we launched Spain and went almost before we went global, launched Cable Girls and Elite, 2 series that were just beloved by local audiences. And that kind of closed the circle for us of saying, not only can audiences in the local country find and be delighted and just find joy in these different stories, but also people beyond those. So that Spanish language programming really opened my eyes to that perspective and brought us to where we are today, where we have things like Elite, 7th season, and many other series that keep delighting local audiences, but also global audiences.
Cool. Jenny?
I'm so jealous about that number of how many people speak Spanish.
Us too, as Italian, us too.
But okay, saying that, I think Netflix called me
Almost be 600,000,001.
So they called me 2.5 years ago, and it was kind of out of the blue in a way, and I felt, this is interesting, intriguing, I need to try it. And it's been so far just wonderful and so fun ride. I've never looked back. And one of the things that really intrigued me, I think, is that Nordics was one of the first regions that Netflix entered into when going international. You were already there then. And that makes us deeply embedded in the Nordic industry. We've been there for quite some time now. And to be able to work with the talent and partners, like looking back so many years, we can really be bold and surprising with our slate, and that's something that I find so inspiring.
I think it's really inspiring, and we all know the collaborative nature of Netflix. We can see actually here on stage the same feeling. But how do you work to build your team to success, and how does the team of other region and countries work together? Tini, you want to start?
Yeah, it's a sort of. We announced 1 year ago, and it was here at MIA, that all the different verticals, so films, documentaries, series, and non-fiction, would have been only one content team working all together. I want to celebrate that, because in 1 year, I think the energy of the team has grown immensely, and what I like is that even if each of the person of the team are working on a specific kind of typology of content, the exchange, the trust and the creativity is so much in the team. We exchange projects, we exchange opinions, and I think we have an all-star group of commissioner. But the real superpower is what you are seeing also here on this stage, and I'm super happy to have Diego and Jenny here, because the superpower is the fact that we are working very closely together with all the content teams from, globally, but Europe especially. And we have people who have such different experiences behind them, and you can trust what they say and learn very fast from what we discuss, but also what the other people are making.
Jenny?
So I can brag about my team now when they're not here. I think we have a high caliber team when it comes to both representing all the Nordic countries in one team, which feels really relevant and important in our region. Like we mentioned, Nordic is different countries, different tonalities, different language, and different histories. And we really need to understand each and every one of those to make the most relevant and authentic content and series and films for them. And I think that's who they are. And we have an office in Stockholm, but we also have one in Copenhagen. So we're actually already working across borders in our small team.
Yeah.
And then we're working even more across borders in the European team, but also globally. So I think the combination of that, exchanging ideas, but also looking very much into what each country locally would like to watch, is how I'm thinking about it.
I would also add we're really unique that we just had the opportunity very recently to have everybody, all the commissioning editors from all the different countries in Europe together, Middle East and Africa, sharing ideas, innovation, learnings, and the fact that these individuals can come together, that commission shows, and 28 countries is incredible in one room. That kind of learning and sharing of information is really powerful. And for me, very also brings a lot of humility as you see others and what they achieve.
That's really nice. And actually sounds really high collaborative, but how this approach extend to your creative talent partnership? Jenny, you want to start?
So as I mentioned, we've been in the Nordics for quite some time now, and that means that we have managed to create those close partnerships. And we want to give our talent and our producers a lot of freedom. And it's like you say, it's highly collaborative. We bring ideas to them, they come with ideas to us, and together we try to pin down what really makes sense and what is the most interesting story to tell. I think a good example is two very talented Swedish producers, Frida Asp and Fatima Varos, that we've been working on with several projects now, up from Quicksand and then to Love and Anarchy. I know you like that one.
It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, and then recently we launched Barracuda Queens just before summer, and next year they're coming with a series called Deliver Me. And those projects are all, they exist on our slate for different reasons. Some we initiated and some Frida and Fatima brought to us. And that kind of collaborative partnership where we give each other freedom and we talk about what makes sense is how we tend to work with our creators.
By the way, Love and Anarchy is one of my favorite as well.
Oh, I hoped you would say that.
Tinny.
Yeah, we're trying to give our talents the best possible experience, and the best possible experience for sure goes also through freedom, but also to give the possibility to make the best possible version of the projects our talents are doing with us. And also, I think the idea of meeting a very broad audience with every kind of story is something that is really relevant and make them feel good. And I want to make, we want to do authentic Italian stories. We share with the producer that, of course, are working with us and the talents, the idea of doing bold stories that has an element of humanity so deep that can be really universal. And this, I want to make a very quick example through Vertical. So Zero Calcare, of course, he's a pure artist and a strong voice, and he was so happy with the first experience that this year, so we had the second story with him. Then it's very good, and it's also the variety of talents we're working with, because Vasco Rossi is the biggest Italian rock star, and he decided to trust us and to tell in a very direct way everything about himself, his life, his career. And then Ferdinand Ozpetek is working with us. We are launching next week his film during the Rome Film Festival. And I love the idea that on the 15th of this month we are launching all the films we could get from him, and a title never seen before, that is the Istanbul trilogy that will premiere on Netflix. And I like so much the idea of doing an homage to a director that is important for our country. And finally, I want to mention Alessandro Borghi, because Alessandro Borghi is so much tied to every moment in which Netflix has something important, from the beginning with the first film we acquired, Suburra, and the series Suburra, then the wonderful and so important socially film On My Skin, and then now with a title we'll talk more after, Super Sex.
Can't wait to talk more about that, but Diego.
what Jenny and Tini say are really critical pillars to our company and to the success of our business and also of the creative community. And one of the things that we recognize is from a creative community perspective, it's not just about doing business in the community. We need to be members, and we consider ourselves members of the creative community. And what that means is adding value to it, being part of it, listening to creators, to producers, being sounding boards, and also creating the opportunity for creators, directors, and producers to do the best work of their lives, right? To really